La Rochelle. First day there, La Rochelle seemed to be just a huge harbor. And here about, I don't know, 100 ML sailing boats.
There's a small sailing school, and now a huge pirate ship is coming.
I'm looking for the supermarket or a boulangerie, but now I happen to end up in another part of the port. Bonjour! So La Rochelle is located in the center of the French Atlantic coast in the Bay of Biscay, and we have a very premium parking spot. Over there is the harbor entrance to the old town, and to the other side the sailing harbor. But the downside is that it's very tight here. It's not really meant for big vans, so we're kind of stuck during the day when everybody comes here for work, and very close by the university where we can go to the toilet. So that's where we parked over there. There's the Atlantic Ocean. And over here, La Rochelle. But before we go sightseeing and go on our photo trip, first some tour guide facts and history about this city. La Rochelle was founded in the 10th century. This is San Nicolai, a very old defense tower at the entrance of the old harbor. And these stones have been here like this for 700 years. Wow. Well, and even though La Rochelle is a very old historic city, it still has kind of a young alternative vibe to it, as there's a large university and probably a lot of nightlife if there wasn't a pandemic, and a lot of street art. From the beginning on, the function as a harbor for La Rochelle was very important, and today it's still the main characteristic of the city. And for navigation into the harbor, there are these two lighthouses, the green one in the back and the red one over here. When they both line like this, then you're on the right course into the harbor. This was the commercial harbor and fishing port back in the days. It's now located outside of the city, but still today the location on the Atlantic coast is very good for fishing, so it's still one of the most important fishing ports for France. Climbed up this small lighthouse here to show you the largest marina for pleasure boats in Europe. There are about 4,000 spaces for sailing boats and other yachts. There's also a rich boat building industry. All of these ML yachts behind me are all built in La Rochelle. Well, to some this might seem boring, but I can sit there the whole day just looking around because there's a lot going on. Small boats racing each other, big boats being craned out of the water, and even these crazy windsurfers flying above the water. But back to La Rochelle and some more history facts.
That's obviously a huge part of French history, but still a huge part. Sorry.
People on one wheels, people dancing salsa.
And Laura trying to tell something about history.
Take two.
So this is a globe showing all the French colonies, or all the countries that were colonized by France, and it's obviously a huge part of French history, but also a huge part of oppression and history itself.
So we have Mauritius, Madagascar,
Republic of Congo, Benin, Morocco, Haiti, Canada, and many more.
I just noticed that's actually a globe showing all the countries where people speak French, but they only speak French because they were colonized. So this info text sums up that many ships were starting from here to go to Africa and the new discovered America. It says that they did a lot of trading starting from here.
Okay, history lesson over. We had a first look around the city for the rest of the day, going to all the major tourist attractions like the traditional French market in the center of the city, the town hall, and well, just walked around to get a feeling for the general vibe here. And as there was still a nationwide 6 PM curfew, we also headed back, but luckily still had a great view from our window. A couple of days later at another parking spot we woke up to this. Recruited to the La Rochelle Fire Department, which was funny because we are actually driving an old ambulance. The next day the same. They seem to come here every day for a morning workout until there's probably a fire somewhere.
Okay, so we now made it almost to the center of La Rochelle, and today I will shoot some film. This is from my grandfather, old Canon A1. But now I still have to remember how to load it.
Shooting film is always fun, the surprise of the outcome and taking the time to really think about the shot. So coming up, all the photos I took and more footage of us exploring this beautiful city. I really like shooting film and should do it more often, but it's kind of expensive these days and it took me 2 days to find a shop to get the film developed, but how they turn out it's always really special. I just love the colors and the general, I guess vintage look you would call it today, which no digital camera can produce. And it always brings surprises when looking at the prints a couple of days later and lets you relive the day in a special way. And we now have a lot of unique postcards to send to friends and family.
We found the premium spot in La Rochelle.
Every time we go to a city, it's super interesting because you never know what to expect, because it's either very hard to get into the old town and the nice part of the city, because you, for example, have to park outside and it's in general very busy and loud and there are many people and it's a lot of rush and offices and stuff. But La Rochelle is totally different. I don't know, it feels very nice to be here. The sea is closed, or it's directly at the sea, and it's just, yeah, it really convinced me. So if you have the chance to travel to La Rochelle, you should definitely do that.
Good that we found some shelter.
Yeah.
20 minutes until curfew. We will be arrested. To answer the question, is La Rochelle the best city in France? Well, it is a very safe city, which is important to us when leaving our home parked somewhere for the day. Everything is in walking distance, and after 2 days we knew our way around the city, where it is nice to hang out, where to get a baguette and where the super fast free Wi-Fi is. Because of the university, there are also a lot of young people, which gives this historic city kind of a modern vibe. There are a lot of bars and restaurants, but they were all closed of course. But during a pandemic-free summer there's probably a lot going on. Also the location at the ocean is great. So all in all, La Rochelle is definitely the best city in France where we have been so far. Perfect size, lots to explore and camping car friendly. Well, we hope you enjoyed this video. If you can make it, you should definitely come to La Rochelle. And if you have an old film camera, you should get a roll of film and have some fun being creative. For more France videos, check out this playlist or have a look at our trip through Scandinavia. To give us some support and stay updated, you can also subscribe for free.